When I was in the hospital and I felt this nudge to record my experience, I knew that I was being nudged or asked by God or internally by whatever you want to, that it was meant to be authentic and share the reality. And I worked with Kathy today and we talked about that, because I said, you know, last night I was crying with Chrissy and she said, I think people don't know that this is happening, like that you're feeling this bad. So Chrissy said, you know, I think people think that you're like doing really good because, you know, they don't see this part. And I said, you know, this is the worst I've felt. And on the really bad days, I just don't feel good enough to pick up a camera. I had 3 really bad days in a row. I was in a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, nausea, couldn't sleep, and at the end of the 3 days I thought, wow, I mean, maybe I could have recorded something in there. And maybe I will, but I just didn't feel like doing anything. So we're on basically 5 days in a row of feeling pretty bad, but today is a lot better than the 3 days. Because the digestion has calmed down. I kind of think that's the prednisone. Prednisone really like gets the nervous system up. It is Thursday, and last week on Monday I started R-EPOCH chemo. We did pre-meds and Rituxan in clinic, and then I had a take-home bag of what I think is just the basic from R-CHOP, the CHOP part. Until Friday, I did that. Every 24 hours I went back for a new bag. And then on Friday, I got to take the bag off, but then they did an hour drip of Cytoxin. And they put the Neulasta injector on for 27 hours later for Saturday night. R-EPOCH is way harder than R-CHOP. Saturday was bad, Sunday was worse. Monday was bad. Tuesday got a little bit better. And the symptoms that I'm seeing that I didn't see before are like a really, really deep fatigue and weakness in my muscles. Nausea that goes on. Worse, an increase in nausea, and it lasts longer. Like I had nausea yesterday all day. Today I woke up without nausea, but it's been kind of coming and going today, and it's pretty bad. Zofran doesn't work for me, and the anti-nausea medication that does work really bothers my eyes, so I only want to take it when it's worst, when the nausea is at its worst, which is like this time around it would have been Friday, Saturday, and I only took it 3 times. I took it in advance of Cytoxin, and then on Saturday I took it twice, but it makes my eyes feel like I just stared at a computer for 3 days and drank a pot of coffee every day. It's really uncomfortable. And it messes with my vision. Like, my vision seems to be affected overall by the chemo process, but it makes it so that I can't focus past like 10 feet. So like at a grocery store or whatever, I have to walk right up to the thing that I want to see. So I can't scan anything from a distance to see where it is or anything. I have a lot of body pain, which came on after the Neulasta. And it felt like last time, which is like I have muscle ache, like my low back muscles feel really achy. My shoulders feel achy here the way they do like the flu. And then my legs felt kind of achy. But now what I feel is like a really strong ache. It's not like a bone ache, although that's probably how people describe it. Here on both sides, and it goes up into my neck sometimes with certain movements. And then on the front of my thighs. And for Chinese medicine practitioners here, it's large intestine channel and Sanjiao. And on my legs, it's spleen and stomach, like exactly on those pathways. And my neck feels like gallbladder. Maybe it's small intestine, because it goes like right up here, more like gallbladder. I have like a mild headache. I think it's just been lingering there, and occasionally I'll feel that get worse for like very short period of time, like a minute or 2, and then go away. And every time I get this really bad pain in my epigastrium. And I feel like it's like if you just blew up the lining of the stomach and it came in on itself and expanded on itself and went upward, like pushing it all up here, like right below the heart. And then that spreads across my upper stomach, middle jaw. And all of that combined makes it so I can't sleep at night. So I've got this fatigue from the treatment. And then you add all of that, which are side effects of the treatment. And then I wake up over and over throughout the night. And so I'm exhausted. Did some crying yesterday out of exhaustion and just not wanting to feel this way. I've had a few people bring up medical marijuana. And the first person that brought it up, I didn't really know what it would be for, but she said nausea. I was like, oh, the nausea's not too bad, I've got it managed, but this time I don't have it managed. Somebody else told me that their father took it and it really helped. And then a couple other people brought it up, just kind of like, have you considered it? And then somebody that I work with said that she uses it, and I said, you know, I smoked pot like 3 times in the past, it didn't go well. And she said, this is a totally different animal. She said, this is like really clean, and they have different strains, so they can know, you know, how to have one be better for nausea, for example, or for different types of pain. So I called my doctor, left a message that I would like to know if it's safe to take and if he'll give me a prescription. So he's going to call me back today, I hope. Because it says it takes like 10 days to get a card, and in 10 days I'll have my next chemo. And I want it. I want to try if that's going to work, if that's going to help me and not like make my eyes feel like they're just totally sore and totally dry and painful. And that's going to help with nausea. And this body pain is going to be more manageable, because I took Tylenol this morning and didn't do anything. Maybe after a couple hours I felt a slight improvement, but what felt better was a hot pad. Just on my back and letting my body warm up. The heat helps, but it doesn't make it go away. And if I can't be in the heat, if I can't have heat on me, then the pain comes back. This definitely wears on people. After the first round of chemo, I thought, I don't know if I want to do 6 rounds of chemo, and my thought about it was like, I know that it's got a lot of toxicity, and there's a lot of people that have years-long problems afterwards. I don't know what they're doing to like resolve that, or if they're doing anything, or if they seek out other type of treatment to resolve that toxicity or not. But I hear about people, you know, 10 years later still have like really bad neuropathy. That's another thing. I have numbness in the tips of all of my fingers. Chemo 2 was not that bad, but it has to be a point for everybody that it just becomes more than you can take. And as I'm recording this, I don't actually know if I will show you me crying. There's a part of me that wants the reality to be out there, and there's a part of me that doesn't want to upset other people or to have them know that I am dealing with it now. Chemo 1 and 2, there wasn't much to deal with. But when I started last Monday, and while I'm getting the initial treatment, I start to feel the effects, and then when the chemo starts rolling, the nausea starts. Even though it's mild in the beginning and it builds up over the week, it was tolerable for a week. But now that we're getting into 2 weeks and I have body pain that won't go away, it's a weird pain. Being exhausted, being fatigued, makes it hard to like manage emotions. You just have to be okay with whatever emotions are coming. And that's hard because we're taught so much not to show our emotions in so many subtle ways. I don't know if I'd use the word suffering, but I'm somewhere in that realm right now. The things that I don't want out of this video are a cheering squad. I think what helps the most is to meet somebody where they are. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what words that would bring. But it isn't like, you're strong, you can do this. It's just, it doesn't make a difference. And I sound like I'm sort of mad about that. I guess I don't know how I am about that. I don't even know what I would want. You know, like, what would I want? What do I want? In sharing, like, where I really am. There's nothing that I really want. The reason that I want to create a video that shows like how emotional it is right now and how hard it is like for people who are dealing with it. It is okay to cry. It's okay to not feel like it, whatever it is. It's okay not to be a super mom or a super dad. It's okay if you have to take time off work. It's okay if you have to ask for help. It's okay if you're angry. It's okay if you're like cancer, chemo, oncology, all of it. Sometimes being fuckity feels better. It's okay to not be able to handle it. This week I couldn't handle it. There's something that's happening with my nervous system. I can't do loud noise. If Christy doesn't hear me and I have to speak up, I'm just like, I can't. Being louder, my own voice being louder is too much for my ears or my nervous system. And then if two people are talking, I've been like, shh. And I'm sorry, I know I sound like an ogre, but I just need less noise right now. And my reaction isn't like this kind, like, listen you guys, I need you to just take it down a little. No, like, shh. I can't help it, I needed to stop right away. And I've had to apologize to my son so many times because I get loud with him and I'm mad. I'm not mad at him though, I just don't feel good. And he says it's okay, and I'm like, I know that you mean you forgive me. Because it isn't okay for me to yell at my kid. I feel like I should be like really cheery that I'm halfway through chemo, but halfway means I have halfway to go, and I feel like shit right now. And for, you know, another reason to make this video is like for caretakers and friends of somebody who's going through a severe illness or a severe treatment or a weird illness, a difficult to diagnose illness. You can't know what they're going through. Sometimes the patient will tell the caretakers or people in their life, and sometimes they won't. And sometimes the people in your life, they just can't handle it, and that's okay too. It's okay if you're a caretaker or a friend, a loved one, a family member, and you don't know how to be. There's no handbook. I don't know what they're doing in search and rescue over here. Probably a search and a rest, not a rescue. Don't they know I'm trying to record a video? Jeez. If you're somebody who's dealing with an illness and you've been here, what made the difference for you, or what would make the difference for you? And if you'd share that in the comments, I think it will help people. Anyway, I want to sign off. Thank you for watching. I love you. May your life be wonderful. Maybe that's my doctor. Hello, this is Tara. Hi. Well, I want a second opinion on the R-EPOCH versus R-EPOCH in my situation.
Okay, well that would be Dr. Bello.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, and we will see you here on the 2nd.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Moffitt appointment confirmed. Second opinion.